You know a student named Linda at Brandon High School? It's her birthday today. Happy 16th from us. It's Y101, Adam and Allison, and very happy for her birthday.
I wonder if she's got anything planned for the Sweet 16, or if she's like me and at that age she's like, listen, I don't want the attention.
It is a good week for a birthday, though. Mine's on Wednesday, just saying. Remember that. Anyway, we're Adam and Allison, and when did you witness somebody get rich, like, overnight? Like, out of nowhere, they had this idea for a business. Maybe they started a candle making company or something, and somehow, some way, they got rich from that candle making company. 601-995-1017.
Does it count if it's a scam?
Yeah, absolutely. It counts if it's a scam, if it worked.
So this is really horrible, but I went to high school with a girl whose mom decided that she was going to set up a fake charity and hold an event and raise all kinds of money. And it was like months later that they found out that it was completely fraudulent, and she had just used that to, but I mean, she was rich for a short period of time.
Very short.
Of this.
Did she go to jail?
I don't really remember after that. I just remember it was a big scandal when everyone found out that charity was not real. That fundraiser was not real. It was all just going to this girl's mom. I felt really bad for the girl because then everyone was kind of like, ew, your mom's gross.
601-995-1017 if you've ever known somebody, or maybe you struck it rich, like basically overnight. Somebody wrote, I think on Reddit, do y'all remember silly bands? Do you remember those?
No.
It says, my friend's dad came up with rainbow silly bands and became a millionaire from that. These were just like little different colored rubber bands, and they were different shapes too whenever they weren't around your wrist. I remember them being banned in school because there were news stories that different colors meant different things.
Yes, I do remember. Now it's all coming back to me.
I wonder if that friend's father saw those news stories and was like, oh my God, my fortune!
Yeah.
They're going to take my fortune! Somebody said my cousin recorded audio of a fan for 8 hours about a decade ago. It has more than 1 billion views on YouTube.
Yeah, because people use it to fall asleep, I bet. Oh my gosh, that's so lazy but genius.
It reminds me of another kind of similar thing that I remember hearing about a few years ago. The top selling song on iTunes, back whenever you had to like buy music to be able to listen to it and put it on your iTunes playlist or whatnot, was just Silence, because people were complaining that a random song, it would always start at the first alphabetical song, so they just named it like A, and it was silent because people were getting their ears blown out from their music starting too loud on their iPod.
That makes sense. That's so funny.
And finally, this one says, my brother's friend worked minimum wage jobs. Then he and his wife started buying lube in large quantities overseas, repackaging it in much smaller quantities in their garage, and reselling it to Diddy. They made millions.
So it's like, did they sell it to Diddy?
No, they didn't just sell it to Diddy. I do have a feeling that he was probably one of their customers.
Well, their biggest customers, yeah.
But yeah, they resold it on Amazon, and that was their full-time job from then on out. They just repackaged lube in their garage. Got rich. Talking about how people have gotten rich quick. 601-995-1017. If it was you or somebody you knew, give us a call or text us because we want to hear the story. Like there were a bunch of people on Reddit talking about friends and family. One person said that my uncle invented micro machines, like little toy cars in the early 1990s. That kind of reminded me, my mom's friend's dad invented Big Buck Hunter. You know that video game? He invented it. And, like, I guess hit it rich off of Big Buck Hunter.
I would have to imagine that was a pretty popular game. You had talked about how someone had mentioned that their dad had invented silly bands, and how at your school they were banned, but they're like, oh my gosh, I used to love silly bands. And I remember thinking the more people had, the cooler they were.
So here's a text we got from somebody.
Yes.
And she said, my cousin started an adult toy line and saw 6 figures within 6 months.
Good for your cousin.
It's The Real Rose Girl on Instagram.
Yep.
And I have been doing some research on her Instagram page. It's crazy. I'm wondering, I wonder if she invented roses. Like the flower.
You think she actually invented the...
I don't know.
Wow.
I asked. I haven't gotten the answer yet, but I need to do more research.
Genius walks among us.
I'm only like halfway through the Instagram page. I need to
go back to the beginning.
Yeah. Crazy. 601-995-1017. Somebody from Madison said, my uncle's company made wood shaving tools. One day, Martha Stewart said she used them to grate cheese on her TV show. Thus, the microplane was born.
Oh, that is nice.
Interesting. And somebody who's going to remain anonymous said that they were just going to ask what the Instagram page was.
The Real Rose Girl.